Okay, today we're doing triangular prisms. Okay, more surface area today. This time we're talking about triangular prisms. Okay, a triangular prism has triangular bases, meaning the top and bottom or the bases of the triangle, depending how it's oriented, are triangles. Okay, always two of them. Okay, two. Okay, and the faces are going to be three rectangular lateral faces. Okay, so there'll be two triangles, three rectangles. Okay, to find surface area of a triangle prism, you have to find the area of the bases and lateral faces. That's what we did last lesson with the rectangular prism. Okay, we just found the area of each rectangle, added it all together. So that's basically what we're going to do today. We're going to find the area of the two triangles, the area of the three rectangles, add them all together. Okay, two different ways to do it. Okay, first way, just like the other lesson, is with our nets. Okay, so I look at this problem here and I break it up. As you see, when I open up my shape, it looks like this over here. Now, I'm going to eventually have you guys draw your own nets. Actually, today in the last problem, you're going to draw your own net. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as it looks, kind of like what the shape should look like when it's opened up. Okay, so just like we did before, we want to start labeling our sides. Okay, I usually start off with the triangles because in my opinion those are just the easiest to see. Okay, so I have the triangle right here. Okay, and then I have the top triangle. Okay, the triangles will always have the same base and height, always. Okay, so if you remember when we were doing area of a triangle, you always want to look for where the right angle is. That tells you where your base and height is. So we have the right angle right here. So the two sides that it's connected to, which is this one right here, and then this one on the bottom, that tells you your height and base. Okay? That's the easiest it could be. Now sometimes they like to trip you up. Let me erase this to show you what they do sometimes. Sometimes they'll give you the base up here. Okay? So up here is also 11. Just remember when we were doing composite figures, remember you could carry lengths over. So this 11 matches up with the bottom side over here. So just don't forget that little trick. There are going to be some problems in your homework and in today's lessons that are going to try to trick you like this. So just watch out. Okay, so back to our triangles. So we have these two triangles here. Okay, let me do a different color so it's easier to see. Okay, it matches up with the two triangles of our net. Okay, before I told you that the base and the height is going to be right here. So when I do that for my triangles in my net, I'm going to do that too. Dotted line for my height. 6.5 with a base of 11. Okay, same thing goes for my other triangle. It has a base of 11. Let me change that up a little bit. Let's do the dotted line first. Okay, it has a height of 6.5 and then a base of 11. Okay, once we have that, we could go for our other rectangles. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky for some people. Okay, it gets kind of tricky because you don't know where the numbers go. What I usually do is I'll go with my smallest number first. So that's the 4. So let's clean this up a little bit here. Okay. Okay, that's 6.5, and that's 11. Okay, 6.5 and 11. Okay, just cleaning it up a little bit. Okay, now I want to go my next smallest number, which is 4 here. Okay, the smallest number is going to match up with the smallest side. Okay, so that means that it's going to be a 4 right there, a 4 right here, a 4 right here, and a 4 right there. Okay, pretty simple. Okay. Next is the 8. Okay, the 8 will go with the medium size line. Okay, so the line that's not the biggest but not the smallest. So the two lines we're going to look at here is going to be this line right here and this line right here. Okay, which one is shorter? Okay, the one on the left is shorter, so meaning that this is going to be my 8 right here. Okay, if that's my 8, that means the other longer side has to be my 9. And that's it. That's how I usually do these. Okay, try and match up smallest side with smallest number, medium side with the middle number, and then the longest side with the largest number. Okay, once I have all my numbers in place, I just find all my areas now. Okay. So first one, I want to do 8 times 4. Zoom in a little bit. 8 times 4 equals, and we'll do it out here just for space sake. 8 times 4 equals 32. Okay, so that means that this triangle is 32. Oh, sorry, that rectangle is 32. Next rectangle is going to be this middle one right here. So 4 times 11, which is going to get me 44. And then my last rectangle, which is going to be right here, it's going to be 9 times 4, which is equal to 36. So that rectangle is 36. Okay, now we have our rectangles all done. Now we just want to find our 2 triangles. Now I'll tell you this right now, the 2 triangles will always have the same area. So you only need to find one of them and you'll be fine. Let's bring this work down here. 9 times 4 equals 36. Okay, area of a triangle. Okay, 1/2 times base times height. Okay, so it's going to be 1/2 times 11, because that's our base, times our height of 6.5. Multiply all that. Okay, 0.5 times 11 times 6.5, and you get 35.75. Okay, once you have that triangle, like I said before, this triangle right here is going to be exactly the same, 35.75. And once you have all shapes and their areas, all you do is add them up at the end. Okay, so all my rectangles plus the triangles. So we have 32 plus 44 plus 36 plus 37.5. Oh, I keep saying 37. 35.75 plus 35.75. Add them all together. 32 plus 44 plus 36 plus 35.75 plus 35.75. and you get 183.5 inches squared. Okay? Seems like a lot of work. I just was showing all the steps as much as I can. Okay? Take it slow. Remember, you're going to get 5 different areas, 2 triangles, which are going to have the same area, and then 3 rectangles. Most of the time, the rectangles are going to have different areas, but there'll be some times where it's possible to have the same area for a rectangle. Okay? If you have any questions on this, make sure you comment on Google Classroom, because this could get a little hard sometimes placing the numbers. If you have any questions on placing the numbers, make sure you ask. Okay? Moving on to the next type of way of doing this. Okay? Let's get rid of this thing here for now. Okay. My next type of way of doing this is just without a net. Okay, so like I told you before, the bases are going to be 2 triangles, and the faces are going to be 3 rectangles. Okay, since you know that, then you could just get the area of those on the side and just add them all together. You don't necessarily need a net, but nets are very helpful to organize your information. Okay, so I'll start with the area of the bases. So 2 triangles. Like I said, the triangles are going to have the same areas. Okay, so the triangles will always be exactly the same. Okay, so area of a triangle equals 1/2 times base times height. Okay, let me get rid of these drawings here so we can see the triangle on the bottom there real quick. Okay, so we have this line right here. Okay, it has the right angle. So that means that this line and this side right here are going to make up our base and our height. Okay, the 4.8 is going to be our height. But what's going to be our base here? We don't know. They don't give it to us right off the bat there. I told you before, they might try to trick you like this. Don't get tripped up. Okay? All I need to do is to look at the side directly across from it. So directly across from this side is straight above, which is 10 feet. So that means that this base is going to be 10 feet now. Okay, now we have our base and our height. Okay, so we plug it in, 1/2 times 10 times 4.8. Okay, 0.5 times 10 times 4.8. And you get 24 feet squared. Now this is where, this side is pretty easy. Since the 2 triangles are exactly the same, you don't have to do another formula. All you need to do is 2 times the area of one of them, so 2 times 24, and that will equal the area of the 2 triangles together. Okay, so now that's done. Area of the bases is done. Okay, 48 feet squared is the area of the 2 bases. Okay, next is the area of the lateral faces. Okay, so let's clean up our shape here real quick, and now we're going to look at the rectangles. Okay, I like to organize it as rectangle 1, rectangle 2, and rectangle 3. Making sure I got all rectangles. Okay, remember area is length times width for your rectangles. Okay. So we'll start one rectangle at a time. So I have this one right here. Okay, this front rectangle here has a length and a width of 10 and 11. Okay, once again, for some reason the rectangles are hard to see for some people sometimes, especially the ones are in the back of the shape. Okay, take it slow, outline if you need to, see what side you're talking about. Okay, for this first rectangle, the only side lengths that are part of this front rectangle is this bottom here and then this right side. Okay, the 5 is for something else. It's not attached to our rectangle right now, and neither is that 10 on the top. So we don't have to worry about that right now. Okay, once I have my two numbers, okay, 10 times 11, which is equal to 110 feet squared. Okay, moving on to the next rectangle. Let's do this left side here. Now this one, when there's a rectangle like this, gives people the most trouble because it's kind of smushed in there and people can't tell what's what there. Let me try to make that a little bit better if I zoom in. Okay. Okay. So we have that rectangle there. Like I said, I know it looks smushed. Maybe some people it doesn't look like a rectangle, but it is a rectangle. Like I said, these side ones are usually the ones that give most people trouble. Okay. So we have the 5 that's connected here, right? That's this side right here. But now we have nothing else. So we got to see if we could carry any other side lengths over. So we have this side here. What's the opposite of this side? We go directly across, and it's that 11 feet. So we know that this is going to be 11 feet as well. Once you have that, you're done with that rectangle. Then you plug it in. 5 times 11, which is equal to 55 feet squared. And now for our last rectangle. Okay, we have this one in the back here. Now this one looks like a rectangle. This one's not too hard to see. Okay, what side lengths are we talking about here? Which ones are associated with the sides of this rectangle? Okay, we have this top one right here, right? That one's 10 feet. And then we have this one right here, which is 11 feet. And we're done. We have our two side lengths. 10 times 11, which is equal to 110 feet squared. Okay? And now we're done with the rectangles. We found all three. Like I said, the hardest part here is to figure out what are my side lengths for my rectangles. It's sometimes hard to see because we're looking in 3 dimensions now. Okay, it's not a flat shape, so you got to be careful. Okay, add up my rectangles, 110 plus 110 plus 55, and I get 110 plus 110 plus 55, and I get 275 feet squared. And that's the area of my lateral faces. Okay, almost done. Okay, last step here is just to add the two total areas together to get our final surface area of our 3-dimensional shape. Okay, so we'll take this number and we'll take this number for our final total surface area. 48 plus 275 equals 323 feet squared. Okay, and that's it. Okay, this might seem like a lot more work than when we did in the last one with the nets, but actually it's literally the same exact amount of work. It's kind of just spelled out for you here. Okay, so these are the 2 different ways to do triangular prisms. Okay, if you have any questions, email me or comment on Google Classroom. Like I said, finding the side lengths could be hard, so don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay, so any questions, email me, and that is it.